What if I told you a Delhi court recently made people stand with their hands in the air for wasting its time? Sounds like school, doesn't it? Only this wasn't a classroom. This was a courtroom. And the punishment wasn't for forgetting homework. It was something far more serious. Contempt of court. But the question is, was this a genius reminder of court discipline or a troublesome sign of judicial overreach? Let's unravel the story, and along the way, we'll explore how the smallest actions in court can lead to big consequences and sometimes big questions. It was a regular day at the Dwarka District Court in Delhi. Judicial Magistrate First Class Surab Goyal was presiding over a complaint case. The accused had been ordered clearly on the last date to furnish bail bonds. But by 11:30 a.m., after calling the matter twice, no bonds were furnished. Frustrated and concerned with the delay, the judge made an unusual move. The accused persons are held guilty for contempt of court and are convicted under section 228 of the IPC. They are directed to stand with their hands raised in the air till the rising of the court. That means until the court finishes for the day. A physical punishment in open court. Let's bring in section 228 of the Indian Penal Code, intentional insult or interruption to public servants sitting in judicial proceedings. This section deals with contemptuous behavior inside the courtroom, a direct attack on the dignity of judicial proceedings. But here's the catch. Section 228 is a criminal offence, punishable with simple imprisonment up to 6 months or fine up to rupees 1000 or both. So, yes, wasting judicial time by ignoring court orders can lead you in serious legal trouble. But does this justify making someone stand, hands raised, like a school child being punished in front of the blackboard? Now, that's where the debate begins. Imagine you're late to court, not because you're disrespectful, but because your lawyer was caught up in traffic or your paperwork was incomplete. Suddenly, you're standing in front of 40 people, arms up, as if you're admitting guilt. That's not just punishment, it's humiliation. And humiliation, especially when handed out publicly and creatively, can walk a fine line between discipline and dignity violation. Here's the metaphor. Justice is supposed to be blind, not theatrical. But what happens when it tries to teach a lesson? This isn't the first time Indian courts have handed out symbolic punishments. In 2019, a Bihar court ordered a man to plant 10 trees as punishment. In another case, a man was told to write an essay on the constitution for slapping a police officer. These gestures often reflect a restorative justice mindset, trying to correct behavior without incarceration. But this hands up instance felt different. It felt disciplinary, not educational. So, here's a question for all of us. Should courts have the liberty to impose unusual punishments? Or should justice always follow procedure, no matter how slow or inefficient it seems? Let's not forget the people behind this drama. One accused, Kuldeep, was even sent to judicial custody for failing to submit his bond by 11:40 a.m. By then, his lawyer showed up at 12:48 p.m., bail bond in hand. He was released. So, was justice served or simply delayed? Imagine you're Kuldeep. For nearly 2 hours, you're unsure whether you're going home or to jail because of a timing issue, a procedural miss, maybe even a miscommunication. This isn't about law, it's about the psychology of power. about how the courtroom can sometimes feel less like a temple of justice and more like a stage for those in robes to command the script. So, what can you, as a viewer, take away from all this? Here's the practical guide. No drama, just real talk. Always follow court directions carefully. Bail bond, affidavits, paperwork, missing deadlines can cost you your freedom. Stay in touch with your lawyer. If your advocate is late or missing, your silence could be misinterpreted as contempt. Judges are human too. They have hundreds of cases, mounting pressure, and sometimes emotional responses. Understand the mood of the court. Act with calm and respect. Use legal remedies wisely. If you ever feel humiliated or unjustly treated in court, you can challenge that order in higher courts. But act through process, not protest. Let's zoom out. In school, we were punished to learn lessons. But in court, is punishment about reform, deterrence, or display? If the courtroom starts resembling a classroom where adults are treated like naughty children, do we risk turning justice into theatre? This case should make us all pause, not just examine judicial conduct, but to ask, how do we want justice to feel? Is it about fear or fairness? About obedience or understanding? Hands up in court could be a sign of surrender or of shame or just desperate attempt to avoid jail. But in this case, it was punishment. So, genius enforcement or judicial overreach. Maybe it reminded us that courts demand discipline but must also protect dignity. And as citizens, we must follow the rules but also question the system when it blurs the lines between power and principle. If the story made you question how our justice system works and how the thin line between order and overreach can be, then hit like, subscribe and share this video. Let's create a space where justice isn't just handed down but understood. And tell me in the comments, was the court right to punish like this? Or did they go too far? Your voice matters. Let's raise it, not just our hands. Take care. Bye.